The restaurant hummed with life glasses clinking, laughter bubbling from tables, and the steady hum of orders being shouted across the floor. Sophia weaved through it all, tray in hand, her worn shoes squeaking softly against the polished floor. She was young, but her eyes carried a quiet exhaustion, the kind only long shifts and worry for a sick parent could carve. Every smile she offered hid the weight pressing down on her. Tonight, though, she didn't know it yet, was going to change everything at a corner table. Surrounded by a small army of security and fussing managers, sat a man who seemed to command the entire room without even trying. Richard Hale, billionaire, tycoon, the sort of man whose name alone sparked whispers and speculation. Sophia had served hundreds of customers before, but never anyone like him, and tonight fate placed her directly in his path. As she set down his glass of water, her eyes caught a glint beneath the restaurant lights. A ring. Not an ordinary one, it was intricate, alive almost, with twisting vines and delicate leaves carved into gold, cradling a tiny emerald that shimmered like it held a secret. Her breath hitched. On impulse, she murmured, "Hi, sir. My mother has a ring just like yours." Richard's head snapped up, his gaze locking onto hers. The stern mask he usually wore flickered, a flash of surprise crossing his features before settling into something unreadable, something heavier, sharper. Panic surged through Sophia. Had she overstepped? Would she lose her job over a careless comment? But instead of anger, he leaned forward, his voice calm but charged. "Your mother has a ring like this." "Are you sure?" Sophia nodded, unable to tear her eyes away from the emerald, from the intensity in his stare. "Yes, sir," Sophia whispered, her fingers tightening around the edge of the tray. "She always said it was special, but I never knew why. She told me it came from a man she loved long before she met my father." Richard's hand trembled just slightly, a subtle shift that made Sophia's heart skip. Do you know how rare this ring is?" he asked, voice low, almost unsteady. She shook her head, words failing her. Silence stretched between them, broken only by the soft hum of the restaurant. Richard's gaze stayed fixed on the emerald, distant, like he was seeing decades of memories flicker behind his eyes. Finally, he spoke, each word measured, heavy. "What's your mother's name?" "Alina," Sophia said softly. "Alina Marquez." The name struck him like a sudden storm. His fork clattered against the plate, sharp in the quiet space. He whispered, almost to himself, "Alina." The next evening, after another long, draining shift, Sophia stepped into the dim apartment she shared with her mother. The small space smelled faintly of medicine and worn fabric. Alina lay on the couch, frail, a soft cough escaping her lips. Sophia hesitated, her stomach twisting. How could she tell her mother something so unreal? Finally, she spoke. "Mum, the billionaire I served last night, he had a ring like yours. He asked about you. He knew your name." Alina froze, her eyes widening as if Sophia had spoken a spell. Tears welled, threatening to spill. Her voice cracked, fragile as porcelain. "Sophia, that man, Richard Hale, he is the man I once loved. The man who gave me this ring before life tore us apart." Sophia's world tilted. "You knew him, Mother. Why didn't you ever tell me?" Alina looked away, eyes misted with memories. She spoke slowly, as if every word cost her years of buried pain. Decades ago, she and Richard had been young, in love, unstoppable in their dreams. But his family had disapproved. He was sent abroad to study, and she was left behind, alone. The letters they had written, pleas, confessions, promises never reached each other. By the time he returned, Alina had been forced into another marriage by her struggling family. Yet she had kept the ring, a single relic of a love that refused to fade. Days later, Richard himself appeared at their modest apartment the next day. For a billionaire used to sprawling estates and polished marble, stepping into the cramped, cluttered space felt unreal. Yet the moment he saw Alina lying there, fragile and pale, something in his carefully guarded heart shattered. He breathed, kneeling beside her. His voice was low, trembling with a weight only time and regret could carry. Tears streamed down Elena's cheeks, her frailty belying the strength of her spirit. "Richard, after all these years," she whispered, her voice breaking. Sophia stepped back, her chest tight, watching the two people she loved most in different ways reconnect. She realized she wasn't witnessing chance. This was destiny. Richard took Elena's hand gently, holding it as though he could never let go. "I searched for you, Alina, for long years. But everyone told me you had moved on, that you were happy. I never stopped wearing this ring, hoping I'd find you one day." Alina lifted her hand, revealing the twin ring she had kept hidden all these decades. 2 rings, 2 hearts, 2 lives torn apart, now standing face to face after so many years. But the reunion was bittersweet. Elena's health was fragile, her condition worsening. The doctor's warnings were clear: she needed treatment Sophia could never afford on her modest salary. Seeing Elena's frailty, Richard didn't hesitate. "I'll make sure she gets the best care in the world," he promised, his eyes never leaving hers. Sophia felt a swirl of gratitude and fear. Why now? Why after all these years? What if it was too late? Richard turned to her, sincerity radiating from every word. "Love is never too late. I failed Alina once. I won't fail her again." Sophia felt tears prick her eyes, a mixture of relief and awe at the love and determination standing before her. But even as hope sparked, the weight of the challenges ahead lingered, a shadow over the light of this long-awaited reunion. "Sophia," Richard said softly, looking at her with a tenderness that made her heart ache, "if you are her daughter, then you are my family too." True to his word, Richard arranged for Elena's treatment at one of the finest hospitals. Every day, he was there sitting by her side, holding her hand, whispering encouragements. Sophia watched closely, noticing a side of him no one else ever saw. Not the powerful billionaire commanding empires, but a man who had loved, lost, and carried the scars of that love for decades. Slowly, Alina began to recover. Her coughs lessened, her energy returned, and for the first time in years, Sophia saw her mother smile, truly smile without the shadow of pain clouding her face. One quiet evening, as the 3 of them sat together, Alina reached for Richard's hand and whispered, "Richard, thank you. Thank you for giving me more time with my daughter." Richard shook his head gently, his voice full of emotion. "It's not just time, Alina. It's a second chance. And if you'll let me, I want to be here with both of you, not as a billionaire, not as a stranger, but as the man who still loves you." Elena's tears fell, but these were different, no longer tears of loss or regret. They were tears of healing, of a heart finally being mended after years of waiting. Months passed. Alina grew stronger each day. Richard became a constant presence in Sophia's life, not replacing the father she had lost, but guiding her, mentoring her, and slowly becoming family in a way that felt natural and profound. Sophia learned a powerful truth. True wealth isn't measured in money, mansions, or fame. Found in love, in kindness, in the unexpected second chances life offers when we least expect them. And it all began with a simple, almost innocent remark from a waitress. "Hi, sir. My mother has a ring just like yours." That small moment had unlocked a love story frozen in time, proving that no matter how many years or miles separate hearts, life always finds a way to bring them back together. It was a story of hope, of healing, of love that refused to be forgotten. And for Sophia, Alina, and Richard, it was just the beginning of a new chapter, one written not with wealth or status, but with the timeless power of the heart.